Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about Maui. We'll skip the usual weather introduction because today we're going to talk about directed energy weapons. Could it be? Well, first, we have many examples of strange occurrences. Melted cars. In this example, we have a car completely melted, and yet the houses around it are untouched. The trees still have leaves on it. What could cause this? What would cause aluminum, metal, glass to completely melt? The official story we're told is the fire was extremely hot. Well, to that I say, no duh, but what caused an extremely hot fire? I would put on my tinfoil hat right now and say, it's directed energy weapons. But let's look and see what the government says. Here we have a nice article from August 11th, 2020. DoD officials discuss framework for advancing directed energy weapons. The Defense Department is developing directed energy weapons, high-powered lasers and microwaves in concert with industry in a way designed to achieve optimal outcomes. Now, if we scroll down this article, we can see that we've got huge government contractors, Booz Allen Hamilton, working with the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense, the Surface Navy Laser Weapon System Portfolio Center, and the Air Force Research Laboratory. They show some examples of equipment. So the government admits that they're working on it. Now, here is the most telling of documents. This is the Directed Energy Futures 2060, visions for the next 40 years of U.S. Department of Defense directed energy technologies. Now, this is a nice picture of Haleakala, and with this little beam here, if you read through this 52-page pamphlet, you'll see that this beam can project a star into the heavens. I don't know why we'd want to do that, but that's one of the gimmicks they can do. But let's look and see what this document tells us about directed energy weapons. Here's some extracts from it. In section 2.1, directed energy range and focus of military power. And then a highlighted section there. For example, lasers can burn holes or otherwise damage material by increasing its temperature above its melting point. And we scroll down. Laser weapons can also cause damage by igniting fires. Altogether, directed energy weapons cause all 5 of the well-known Ds: destroy, damage, degrade, deny, and deception. In the rest of this section, we will focus on the blunt effects of physical damage and destruction as a means to project military power range. The power of DE, or directed energy, to burn holes in a material by heating it to temperatures at which it melts or otherwise structurally breaks, is a power that is uniquely suited for lasers. So we advance to section 2.2. Because people say, well, directed energy weapons, yeah, but I don't know. Well, let's see. Low levels of laser light, millimeter waves, microwaves, radio frequencies, and particle beams can all be absorbed in materials through processes fundamentally different from hole burning, but with known and potentially devastating effects. These effects include causing destructive fires. And this reminds me of Happy Harry from our last video when he talked about Magnifying glass. And what does this official government document say? Even children know that one can fry an ant with a magnifying glass. Huh. Gets better, 2.3, because people report, well, nobody saw any of these beams. Well, building on the concepts of section 2.2, the precision of effects, and 2.2 was the previous section we just talked about. For laser weapons, that includes precisely boring a hole at range, effectively destroying or disabling a target, in addition to other effects, for example, fires at range and damaging or dazzling. HPEM directed energy weapons create precise effects, counter electronic warfare, okay, and by their very nature, dues that operate in non-visible portions of the electromagnetic spectrum are often non-attributable or challenging to attribute because the DE beam is invisible. So they tell us that you can't see the beam. So this document is very telling, but this is all theoretical. Well, the U.S. Pentagon, in this article from Army Technology, dated June 1st, 2023, U.S. Pentagon integrates directed energy air defense systems. In terms of comparative total expenditure, the U.S. accounts for the largest share of expenditure globally, with a market share 41.6% of the money spent on directed energy weapons is by the U.S., 1.5 billion annually. So we're spending a lot of money on it. The Kirtland Air Force Base, which houses the Directed Energy Directorate, personally, with an annual operating budget exceeding 300 million. So of the 1.x billion dollars that is spent per year, the Directed Energy Directorate of the Air Force is spending more than 300 million. Well, where does that directorate operate out of? The directorate operates on 4,325 acres of land with a lot of square foot of laboratory, the Kirtland Air Force Base, but unique facilities include the Starfire Optical Range at Kirtland, a testing site at White Sands, and the Air Force Maui Optical and Supercomputing Site. But it's better than that. So they operate a site in Maui with directed energy weapons that they tell us about. Here in an article from the Military and Aerospace Electronics, May 24, 2023, an upward trajectory for directed energy weapons. Scroll down. Wonder what the Navy's doing. Navy leaders have launched prototypes for some of its Navy laser family of systems. High energy laser and integrated optical dazzler and surveillance high energy laser system. A 60 kilowatt system developed by Lockheed Martin was test launched on an Arleigh Burke class destroyer, the USS Preble DDG-88, in August of 2022. I wonder where the USS Preble is home ported. Well, we go to surfpack.navy.mil. We look up USS Preble. The guided missile destroyer USS Preble, along with Easy Riders of Helicopter Maritime Strike Squadron HSM 37-1, returned to Joint Base Pearl Harbor June 13th, following a deployment to the U.S. 7th Fleet of Operations. So the Navy's ship that they just tested their shipborne laser on is home ported in Pearl Harbor, Oahu, Hawaii. What about the Air Force Maui Optical and Supercomputing AMOS site? Now, it does a lot of experimentation with space-based But it also says laser propagation through the Earth's atmosphere. Now, the Earth's atmosphere begins where the ground ends, so anything from the ground up. And they're doing supercomputing and propagation of lasers through the Earth's atmosphere. Here again is the picture of them projecting a star into the atmosphere, which most recently AFRL installed a sodium guide star, which has the ability to propagate light into the sodium layer of the atmosphere and create an artificial star. So they're doing all kinds of interesting tricks there in Maui. So let's sum up. We had melted cars in areas that weren't in the fire zone. We had the Department of Defense stating that they are doing directed energy weapon technology, research and development. We discover that the Navy has installed a directed energy weapon on a U.S. Navy DDG-88, the USS Preble, which happens to be home ported in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The Air Force is studying directed energy propagation through the atmosphere with lasers on Haleakala, Maui. But the media and the government tells us, oh no, there's no proof. We wouldn't do directed energy weapons. So to quote a great internet researcher, Red Pill 78, do your own research. Do we know what the truth is? That is hard to find, but we can look at the facts and discover that what they're telling us is a lie. That's all I have, folks. See you later today when we discuss the Maui fires and how it's affecting the citizens of Maui and what you can do to help them. Have a great day.